This is Inside the TMC Family. I'm Faith Howard-Mooney from the Mortgage Collaborative, and I have with me today someone who we always appreciate here. He's always very prepared. He always has great ideas, and he's just kind of a fun guy to be around. So I'm setting you up there, Mike. Mike Metz from VIP Mortgage.
Hello, everybody.
And Mike, I went back and looked at your title and it said in our system operations, and you're like involved in everything. So if you want to just kind of share with people what your role is at VIP and a little bit about VIP, that would be great.
It is a little bit of everything. I've been here for 12 years since we were a small company. So I've worked in just about every department across the board, except for underwriting. I don't want that responsibility. That has included picking out food for event management to assembling chairs, loan intake, closing, a little bit of everything. So we are a small independent mortgage bank headquartered out of Scottsdale. Our owner started us after everything kind of started collapsing and was trying to take in the good people he knew and some friends and trying to make sure that we had a way to do good loans for good people. So that's who we are in a nutshell.
Yeah. So let's learn a little bit about you. I don't know if I've ever heard your whole story, but explain to me what your first job ever was.
So I argued myself on what the answer is. The first real job was my father owned a small accounting company, and I worked for him at a younger age, and it would be anywhere from I did IT to janitorial support to filing, accounts receivable. But if you're talking like my first real job, that was I worked in a research lab back in the college.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So I jumped right into research out there and was first working in a language lab and then went to a memory lab.
That does not surprise me. That sounds like you, but I did mean the first job, and a lot of people have worked for their parents in businesses, in the jobs that they've had. I always say the first job sometimes teaches you what you don't want to do
Yes.
for the rest of your life versus what you
Definitely
really want to do. Yeah. So share with us how you got into mortgage.
Well, as I was kind of sharing, I was in research and I'm a big science geek. I love science and I especially love the brain and how that works and memory. Unfortunately, doing the actual research involves sitting in a dark room, in that case, watching a rat run in circles for 8 hours alone. So I tried so hard to love it for as long as I could, but eventually you can only talk with yourself about so many topics. So tried that, tried a little bit on the clinical side, but I was overall pretty miserable. And then my father, the accountant, happened to be golfing with the owner of VIPJ. And Jay was, yeah, so Jay was complaining, oh, I had someone quit today. My father's like, oh, well, my son's miserable. You want to interview him? So my father calls me and says, hey, can you drive across town and interview right now? I said, sure. So I drove across town and Jay asked if I golfed like my father. I said I didn't. He asked if I could start the next day anyways. I said, sure. So I started off doing loan intake and learned from there.
Wow, that is a great story. It's amazing how many parents of people somehow get them into mortgage, even though they weren't in mortgage themselves.
Yeah.
Somebody always knows somebody in mortgage. It's been amazing to me to hear some of those stories, but just like, a number of people in mortgage don't plan to be in mortgage. You just kind of land in mortgage somehow.
I didn't want to go towards accounting. No offense to the CPAs and the Mike Jones of the world. Why younger version of me thought mortgages was okay, but accounting wasn't? Go figure.
You just never know, but it's been kind to you, so that's great. What's the one thing that, like, when you started down this path that you just wish you knew and you wish somebody just had pointed out to you that for you is like so clear to you now?
So now, and it's still something that I have to remind myself constantly, but it's that as much as we try, we can't predict what's going to happen to the world. We can't control what's going to happen in the world or how other people are going to treat you. So what you can control is how you're going to respond. And it's very easy to become a cynic and a pessimist, especially during certain environments. Or you can try to find the light of the situations and be positive, look for the brilliance in people and learn from them, look for the small little things that are going right. And I've actually got a stupid poster that I keep right next to my desk just to constantly remind me. It was graffiti on the side.
Oh, I love that.
Like, so I do need constant reminding. Younger me definitely needed more reminding and teaching of that.
Yeah. Well, you are that for so many people. So you've done that. You share a little bit with us, and we always have very, very pleasant experiences with you. So obviously that's something that you have been able to do. If you weren't in mortgage, what would we find Mike Metz doing?
I think to start, I would probably try my hand at writing. I like to read a lot of books, so I would try writing a book. And if that
Yeah.
went down the same path as research of, okay, now this is sitting alone with myself again, then I've made the joke that I would open up like a food truck and call it TBD, tacos, burgers, dogs, which is way more exciting than to be determined.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. I could see you writing a book. I could see you doing
I think it
that.
could be fun.
Yeah, yeah. My last question was a random question. It also has the word book in it. So funny how that works out. My last question was, if you were a book, which I know you're a huge book lover and there are probably hundreds of these, which one would you be and why would you be it?
Oh, that's a tough question. Favorite book is easier, but what book would I be? Napoleon Hill has a book. It's a pretty good classic, Think and Grow Rich. And I have to explain to people it's not actually about getting rich as in money, as much as just like going towards the result you want. And I've read that book probably 5, 6 times now over the years, and just about working to like find people that you respect and learning from them and having those goals and trying to be that positive attitude. So I would probably get defaulted to that one.
Yeah,
I'd like to
that's
think it'd
a
be like some sort of exciting thriller, but I don't think I'm going to win James Bond anytime soon. Sorry, Ian Fleming. As much as I may pretend.
Oh, that's totally all right. That sounds like an awesome book. I always take every book recommendation that comes my way from somebody and find it. So appreciate that as well. It is always a delight to talk to you. Our team here at TMC, as you know, loves you. And we always know that if there's something that we need, even if it's your schedule is crazy, that you will always attempt to do it for us. So we appreciate that. And just really your feedback. You're a great ideas person. And we enjoy having ideas thrown at us to see if we can make something out of them. So it's wonderful, always, as always.
Stick.
It's wonderful having you in our TMC family. Thank you for doing this with me.
Absolutely. Thank you.